The glittering facade of Las Vegas was shattered on date of the incident. A Tesla Cybertruck parked outside the Trump International Hotel exploded in a fiery inferno. The blast, a suicide bombing, left 7 people injured and a city reeling in shock. At the heart of the tragedy was Matthew Livelsberger, a decorated Green Beret who was killed in the attack. Livelsberger left behind more than just carnage. He left a manifesto, a digital cry for help filled with disturbing claims and unsettling accusations. It was a window into the mind of a veteran pushed to the brink, a man consumed by his demons. Livelsberger's target, the Cybertruck, was no accident. It was a symbol of American innovation and, to him, a representation of the very system he believed had betrayed him. The bombing wasn't just an act of violence. It was a statement, a final desperate attempt to be heard. The FBI, tasked with unraveling the truth, quickly labeled it a tragic case of suicide fueled by PTSD. But the contents of Livelsberger's manifesto, leaked piecemeal to a hungry media, hinted at a far more complex and unsettling story. The manifesto, addressed to retired U.S. Army intelligence officer Sam Shoemate, painted a picture of a man deeply distrustful of his government. Livelsberger claimed to possess knowledge of a clandestine world, one where advanced drone technology was used to spy on Americans, where war crimes were swept under the rug, and where truth was a casualty of convenience. Were these the ramblings of a troubled mind, or a chilling glimpse into a hidden reality? As investigators dug deeper, they were forced to confront an unsettling possibility. What if Livelsberger's paranoia was rooted in truth? The bombing sent shockwaves far beyond the neon-lit streets of Las Vegas. It forced America to confront the invisible wounds of war, the devastating toll of PTSD, and the potential for extremism to fester even in the hearts of its heroes. Livelsberger's story, though tragic, served as a stark reminder. Sometimes the greatest threats come not from foreign enemies, but from the shadows within our own nation, from the broken promises made to those who served it most bravely. Matthew Livelsberger's manifesto was a chaotic tapestry of anger, paranoia, and despair. It was a glimpse into the mind of a man grappling with his demons, a veteran haunted by the ghosts of war and betrayed by the very nation he swore to protect. Within its pages, Livelsberger wove a narrative of conspiracy and cover-up, accusing the US government of unspeakable acts both at home and abroad. He claimed to have witnessed firsthand the horrors of war in Afghanistan, atrocities committed by American forces and then deliberately buried. He wrote of a government program shrouded in secrecy that utilized advanced drone technology not to combat terrorism but to spy on its own citizens, turning the American dream into a surveillance state nightmare. These were not the claims of a madman, Livelsberger insisted, but the desperate pleas of a patriot, a man burdened with the weight of truth in a world determined to silence him. His words dripped with a palpable sense of betrayal, a deep-seated anger directed at the institutions he once believed in. He saw corruption everywhere, from the halls of power to the media outlets he believed were complicit in the cover-up. This disillusionment, coupled with the raw, untreated trauma of PTSD, festered within him, transforming him from a decorated soldier into a ticking time bomb. The manifesto was a cry for help disguised as a declaration of war. It was a desperate attempt to expose the truth, as Livelsberger saw it, to awaken a sleeping public to the dangers he believed were closing in, whether his claims were the product of mental illness or a genuine reflection of hidden truths. The manifesto painted a chilling portrait of a man pushed to the edge, a stark reminder of the fragility of the human psyche and the devastating consequences of unchecked trauma. Matthew Livelsberger was more than just a bomber. He was a casualty of war. A decorated Green Beret, he had served his country with honor, but the battlefield had exacted a terrible price. The man who returned from Afghanistan was not the same one who had enlisted. He carried within him the invisible scars of PTSD, a wound that ran deeper than any bullet could reach. Livelsberger had witnessed horrors that no amount of training could prepare him for. The memories haunted his waking hours and invaded his sleep. He struggled with flashbacks, nightmares, and a constant gnawing anxiety that never seemed to abate. The world, once familiar and safe, now felt alien and threatening. He was a stranger in his own skin, trapped in a prison of his own mind. The military, despite its tough exterior, often failed to adequately address the invisible wounds of war. Livelsberger, like countless other veterans, found himself lost in a system ill-equipped to handle the complexities of PTSD. He slipped through the cracks, his pleas for help going unanswered, his suffering dismissed or minimized. In the absence of proper care, Livelsberger's PTSD festered, twisting his perceptions and fueling his paranoia. The world became a darker, more dangerous place in his eyes. His experiences in Afghanistan, already traumatic, took on a sinister new meaning. He began to see enemies everywhere, conspiracies lurking around every corner. The line between reality and delusion blurred, and the darkness within him grew. In the echo chambers of the internet, Matthew Livelsberger found an unsettling refuge. Haunted by his experiences and failed by the system he'd sworn to protect, he turned to online forums for solace. There, among the digital shadows and anonymous avatars, he discovered a community of like-minded individuals, united by their distrust of authority and their embrace of conspiracy theories. The internet, once hailed as a tool for enlightenment, had become a breeding ground for misinformation and extremism. Conspiracy theories, once relegated to the fringes of society, flourished in the digital age, finding fertile ground in the minds of those seeking answers to complex problems. For Livelsberger, struggling to reconcile his wartime experiences with his shattered faith in his government, these online communities offered a dangerous seduction. The conspiracy theories he encountered online provided a framework for understanding his trauma, a way to make sense of the chaos that swirled within him. They offered a simple explanation for the complex evils he'd witnessed, a narrative in which he was not a victim, but a righteous warrior battling a hidden enemy. The government wasn't just incompetent, it was actively malicious, engaged in a grand conspiracy to suppress the truth. The drones he'd seen weren't tools of national security, but instruments of oppression used to spy on innocent Americans. As Livelsberger delved deeper into the world of online conspiracy, his grip on reality loosened. The lines between truth and fiction blurred, replaced by a worldview where everything was connected, where every event was part of a larger, sinister plan. He became convinced that he was privy to a hidden truth, that he had stumbled upon a conspiracy so vast and insidious that it threatened the very fabric of American society. Sometimes the lines between reality and imagination blur. Could it be that what we dismiss as mere paranoia is actually a glimpse into a darker truth? As we delve deeper, we must ask ourselves, are we seeing things that aren't there, or are we uncovering secrets meant to stay hidden? The answer perhaps lies somewhere in between. Stay with us as we explore this unsettling possibility. Throughout history, nations have often looked outward in times of internal strife. China, in particular, has been cast as a foreign adversary, a convenient scapegoat for a multitude of issues. This narrative, though, is not unique to any one country. It's a tale as old as time, where the allure of a foreign enemy serves to unite and distract a populace from domestic troubles. In the quest for truth, we often find ourselves tangled in a web of conspiracy theories. These theories, while alluring, can obscure the real issues at hand. People yearn for simple answers to complex problems, and in that yearning, they sometimes lose sight of the bigger picture. It's a delicate balance, navigating through misinformation to uncover the reality. Now, more than ever, there is a pressing need for action. We cannot afford to stand idly by as the world around us changes. Each of us has a role to play in shaping the future. It's time to step up, to engage, and to make a difference. The call for action is not just a plea, but a necessity in these pivotal times. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with all of us. We share this world, and with that comes a shared duty to protect and nurture it. It's a collective effort requiring cooperation, understanding, and a commitment to the greater good. Together, we can overcome the challenges we face and build a better future for generations to come.